Hi yogis, and welcome to your week 9 practice. This week we're going to be working through a practice that helps with digestion. It's one of those things during pregnancy that everything starts to slow down. So getting moving and doing this yoga practice is going to help speed up your digestive tract a little bit. For today's practice, you're going to need a few things: a timer, a block, and a bolster. You can visit the tools link on the page if you would like some options, some common things that you have around the house. That would be a great substitute. Start seated, cross-legged position. Find a nice, easy seat so that your sit bones are grounded into the mat. You don't want to be leaning too far forward or too far back, but you want to be just right over your pelvis. Rest your hands on your knees. Roll your shoulders back, grow long and tall through the torso. Close your eyes. Start to focus on your breath. Taking the inhale and the exhale out through the nose, in through the nose. Finding an even breath. If Ujjayi breathing is in your practice, feel free to start to deepen the breath. To do Ujjayi breathing, you just start to constrict the back of the throat so that you make the sound of the ocean when you inhale and exhale. This is a great tool for moms, especially when all those long hours of labor come. It's a good breath to bring you into the moment and to help energize yet calm the body. Take a few more breaths. Flutter the eyes open, keeping your hands on your knees. You're going to inhale, doing a seated cat-cow. Take the chest forward, sternum forward, look slightly up, shoulder blades down your back. Exhale, sit back, scoop out the belly, lean back. Nice exaggerated movements. Inhale, lift. Exhale, sit back. Go ahead with your breath. I'll show you the side view. Continue doing this. Inhale, lift. Exhale, back. Keeping your sit bones grounded on the floor. I know it's hard when you go back. Inhale, lift, lead with the heart. Exhale, sit back. 2 more times. Inhale. Exhale. And last time, inhale. Create lots of space for baby. And exhale, curl down. Great, come to a neutral spine. We're going to take our right hand, grab onto our left knee. Again, grow tall, grow long. Anytime you rotate when you're pregnant, you need to find the space first, the length first. You need to when you're not pregnant, but it becomes even more important when you are carrying baby. So as you hold on to your left knee, take your right arm up, turn, and drop it behind you. Roll your shoulder back and take your gaze over that back shoulder, your left shoulder. Keep the shoulders away from the ears. Walk your left hand over to your left knee, and then walk your hands all the way over to the other side. This time we're going to take our left hand to our right knee, sit up tall, grow nice and long, and then rotate to the back wall. Keep your spine stacked one vertebrae on top of the other, and gently turn your neck. If this is too much for your neck, then you don't need to look behind you. Release the rotation forward, and then we're going to grab for a block. You're going to take your block, and you're going to put it under your bottom. So you're going to place it between your heels. You're going to place your heels on the block. And then you're going to sit your bottom down between your heels. So from the front, you want to have a little bit of space between your knees, and then sit down on that block. If you can start to work your toes out to the side. Let the block support you, and then we're just going to, again, find that easy seat, working on hero's pose. Hands come to the knees, roll the shoulders back, grow nice and tall. If this is not enough for you and your knees are in good condition and you'd like to get a little bit more out of it, we're going to take the block away. It's up to you. You can either stay here on the block or you can take the block away. So to take the block away, just move it out and then draw your knees together. Feet are going to walk out to the sides and then get your sit bones, those bony protrusions on your bottom, to rest on the floor. The pinkies of both of your feet should be flat on the floor and let the toes spread. Again, rest your hands on your knees and roll your shoulders back. This pose is a lot for your knees, so if you get into it and you think, oh my gosh, this is too much, that's okay. Just come out of it, grab the block, go back to where you were before. One more breath. Come forward onto all fours. Tuck your toes, lift your hips. We're going to keep a bend in your knees and then straighten out. You want to push your hips to the back wall, whatever's behind you. You want to act like you're going to plop your bottom where the ceiling and the wall meet and really get that bottom high. Then you can start to play with the flexibility of your legs, of your hamstrings. So start to work your heels down to the mat then. It's not the end-all be-all if your heels do not reach the mat. Hold here in downward facing dog for a few breaths. If you need to rock side to side, wiggle your hips, whatever gives you the most space, feel free. And you're going to walk your feet towards your hands. Inhale, lengthen, look forward, heart comes forward, shoulder blades on your back. Exhale, release, forward fold. And then putting a slight bend in our knees, roll up to stand one vertebrae at a time. Stop continuing to warm up and getting all the everything moving in our digestive tract. We're going to do some half sun salutations. Inhale, lift your arms up. Exhale, forward fold, hinging at the hip, flat back. Inhale, lengthen, coming out of the spine. Exhale, release. And then rooting down through the feet, inhaling, coming back up the way that you came. Come all the way up to stand. Palms together and close down at heart center. Again, inhale, reach up. Feet can stay hip distance apart so that when you exhale and forward fold, there's space for baby. Inhale, lift. Grow length in your torso. Exhale, release. And then come all the way up to stand. Nice solid foundation with the feet. Palms together and close down to heart center. One more time, inhale. Thinking about the movement and the breath working together. Exhale, forward folding. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, release. And up to stand. Inhale. Palms come together and close down to heart center. Great. Incorporating the breath and the movement is really going to help with the digestion. Let's take our feet wide, about 3.5, maybe 4 feet apart. A good test is to take your arms out to the side and then see if your ankles are lined up underneath your wrists. Okay. Take your hands to your hip and you're going to turn your right toes all the way from deep within your hip socket. And you're going to point them toward the small edge of your mat. Your back foot, your heel is going to drop back. Then you're going to take your front knee and start to bend it over your right toes so that your knee and your toes are tracking in the same line. Your back hip's going to come in slightly. That's great. When you're here, the goal is to start to get to a 90-degree angle with your thigh. It's a little bit harder when you're pregnant. So feel free to just back off a little bit. It's up to you where your comfort level is. So we're going to warrior two, find the leg position, extend the arms out to the side, gaze goes over your front middle finger. Hold here for a few breaths, breathing deep, working that Ujjayi breath. Take your right hand, flip the palm up toward the ceiling, and then reverse your warrior. Reach to the back wall. Create space from your hip bone to your rib cage. This back hand is nice and light, so much so that you can take the hand off. Feel the space. Start to roll your torso open, but keep that front knee bent. Come back through to warrior two. And then you're going to take your right arm to your thigh and reach your left arm up to the ceiling into a side angle pose. If you'd like to go a little further today, grab your block, place it on the outside, the pinky side of your right foot. Place your right hand on it, and then, keeping the bend in that front knee, start to rotate your left shoulder open. Reach up to the ceiling. Spread across your collarbones. Spread hand to hand. Really get your wingspan open. You can hold here or turn your palms so that it faces the skinny edge of your mat and then place it over your ear. So you want to sink your hips down so you start to find a nice diagonal line from your fingertips all the way down to the pinky side of your foot. Reach back up. Keeping your right foot grounded, using your back hip, come all the way up to stand. Good. And straighten your front leg. Let your arms down and shake out those legs. Keeping the legs wide, we still have one more side to do. Rotate deep within the hip socket. Take your left knee so that it goes all the way over your left toes. Drop your right heel back slightly. Same thing here. Spread the arms. Gaze over your middle finger. Then find the place that works for you. So building a little bit of heat in these yoga poses today. Using some hard standing poses, really finding our edge and sinking in. All that's going to build our internal prana, and that's going to help burn off what we're just holding on to. So the problems that we're having with digestion can be aided through our yoga practice. Turn the left hand up to the ceiling, keeping your knee bent, reverse your warrior. Breathing into the side of the body, staying low with that knee bend, feeling spacious in our torso. Come back to warrior two. And again, your choice. You can place your hand, your elbow on your thigh, and then reach up to the ceiling. Or if you'd like to go a little lower today, locate your block, place it behind your left ankle, place your left hand on the block, rotate your right shoulder open, reach toward the ceiling. Once you have this pose, if you'd like to move a little further, turn your arm in the socket and then reach over your ear. Working hard here, opening the hips. All this external rotation is great. We're preparing for baby, creating space in our hips. Keeping the feet firmly on the mat. Take your right arm up and then come to warrior two. Straighten the front leg and release the arms. Nice job. So face the skinny edge of your mat. I'm going to face you. And you're going to stand so that your hips are square. Where are we? We're going to take our right foot back. Left toes face forward. And again, find your hips. They're going to want to both face forward. So if you have little lights on your hips, they'd shine forward. Going to start to bend into your front knee. Good. You can stay here with your hands on your hips or start to reach your arms up to the ceiling. This is Warrior 1 or Virabhadrasana 1. Relax the trapezius, your shoulders. You don't want them up by your ears like earrings, but you want to slide your shoulder blades down your back. Sink into that front knee, making sure your front knee is tracking over your toes. You can hold here, or if you'd like a little more, palms come together, look up toward the ceiling, create space in your torso. Hands back down to your hips. Straighten your front leg and step together. Good, shake it out, get ready for the other side. Step back with your left foot. Again, that back foot is about at an angle. The heel is on the mat. If you need a little more space, feel free to go hip distance apart. Bend into your front leg. Keep your hips level. Hold here with your hands on your hips if you'd like, or create length, arms up. Arms stay by the ears. Shoulders release down. Torso lifts from the heart center, from the sternum, as you soften the front ribs. Nice Ujjayi breath. Hold here, or for a little more, palms come together. Look up slightly. Create space in the abdomen. Hands down to your hips, and then straighten your leg and step together. Nice job. Take the feet wide again. Hands are going to stay on your hip. Toes face forward. Inhale, roll the shoulders down the back. Lift the sternum. Exhale, flat back, forward fold, coming all the way down to the mat. When you're down there, sink your hips toward the ceiling, and then find the weight distribution in your feet. You don't want to be too far forward or too far back. You want to be kind of equal. You can play with this and see how it feels leaning back, see how it feels leaning forward, and then find that happy medium. Spread your sit bones, your hips, so that they're like smiling at the back wall or whatever's behind you. Place your right hand on the mat. Left arm is going to reach up toward the ceiling. You can take your gaze up toward that left arm. Again, you want to keep your hips pretty steady, as if there's a glass of water balancing on them. And release your hand. Other side, left hand stays on the mat. Right arm reaches up. Hips stay steady. Release to the mat. And then walk your feet together, about hip distance apart. Enough room for baby. Grab your big toes. You're going to inhale, look forward, flat back, maybe a slight little back bend you can think of in your upper back. And exhale, release, elbows come out to the side. Feel free to bend your knees if you need the space. From here, think about your breath. Think about lengthening your hamstrings, keeping the shoulders away from the ears, creating space for your neck. Inhale, again, look forward slightly. And then exhale, release the hands, come all the way down to your bottom. Take both feet forward. Flex the feet so that your toes face the ceiling. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, start to forward fold, reach for your toes. We're not going to curve our back today. We're going to keep our back long, our spine straight, and look forward. And then hinge at the hip. This is the same motion that we do anytime that we forward fold. So keeping everything spacious. Again, if you need to take your feet a little wider to accommodate your belly, feel free. If you are in week 9, probably just starting to experience what it feels like to have a little bit of extra there. Sit up tall. You're going to take your right leg in and then drop the right knee out to the side. Keep the left foot flexed. Again, inhale, reach up. And as you exhale, take your right hand and grab for the outside of your left foot. Your left hand's going to come right next to your hip. And then you're going to gently turn as you fold forward. If you have a bigger belly and you're in a later week in your second or third trimester, take the turn out and just gently bend over your front leg. Come up tall, and we're going to switch sides. So this time the right leg comes out, left leg bends in, drop the left knee down to the mat. If your knee's kind of hanging out in space up here, if your hips aren't open yet, you can take your block and just put it underneath your knee for a little bit of support. So inhale up. Exhale, grab your left hand to the outside of your right foot, right hand by your hip, turn open, and then gently come forward. And sit up tall. Again, we'll take both feet out forward. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Reach for those toes. Keep the spine straight. See if you can't go a little further this time than you did last time, since we've been forward folding and opening those hamstrings. And come up tall. We're going to twist again, this time a little bit different. Take your right leg and cross it over your left. Again, accommodate the belly, find your space. In our normal yoga practice, when we are not pregnant, it's very common to twist into the leg. If this is too much for you, even crossing your leg, you can just keep the foot near your leg. So normally we twist into the leg, but since we've got the belly there, we don't want to do that. We need to give baby some space. So if you're in a class, they say twist towards your leg, you just do the opposite thing. Who cares if you're staring at your neighbor? Take the same knee that's bent, take that elbow, push it into your knee, and then open up. So this is a nice feeling because you get that spread across the collarbones, but you still have enough space for baby. Keep the left foot flexed. And breathe as you twist. Again, keeping that spine tall, stacking the vertebrae one on top of the other. And release. Take both feet forward. Shake it out a little bit. Bring your left foot in. Again, you have the choice here. If you're still not showing, you don't really have much of a belly, if you are in your 9th week, then this will be fine for you. Cross your leg over. Take your left arm up. Hook your elbow. And then rotate to the back wall. So twists in yoga really stimulate digestion, detox the body, and they're just something that we really learn to love and appreciate in yoga. So it's a little hard to get the same benefits when you're pregnant, but it is doable. All about creating heat, moving everything with the breath. just moving the body. Release the twist. Going to grab your timer. Go ahead and set your time for however long you have. If you have 5 minutes, great. If you've got 10 minutes, even better. Set up your pillow, your bolster, long ways on your mat. And one thing before we go down is Baddha Konasana. This is butterfly stretch. Again, just keep doing this. It will be wonderful for you all through your pregnancy. So take your knees out to the side, feet together. Open your feet like it's a book. Sit up tall. Again, you need to have that space. So if you're here and you're crunched over, think about how poor baby's feeling. So really grow nice and long, and then the same hinge at the hip. Hinge forward, drop the tailbone down, buttocks down, lean forward while keeping the length in your back. You can push your elbows into your thighs, drop those thighs down to the mat, open the hips, keep the shoulders away from the ears, and breathe gently. On each exhale, sink slightly further into the pose. Feeling your hips release. And then come on up. Again, set your timer. However long you'd like it to be. The longer the better. I'm going to leave you. I'll set you up and then I'll leave you for your meditation. For today's meditation, we're going to take the same pose that we were just in, Baddha Konasana. Feet together, knees out to the side. If your knees are a little too high and that's uncomfortable for you, feel free to take blocks, pillows, whatever you have. Just stick a block under your knee. You're going to back up until your booty's on the bolster or on the pillow, whatever you have at home. Keep your feet in the butterfly position, and then start to lean all the way back so that the bolster is supporting your spine. Move any ponytails out of the way if you need to. Hands can come to your belly. Hands can rest on your thighs, or they can rest on the floor beside you, palms facing up. I like mine on the floor. That way my shoulders can sink down, my collarbones can spread open, and I can get that nice open feeling in my chest and then also in the belly for baby. Just let go of the Ujjayi breath and just relax here. Feel the support of the bolster. Feel the support of the mat. Breathe your normal breath. Close your eyes and just have this time for you. What a wonderful gift that you've given yourself the time of day to be able to relax, to connect with your body, to connect with baby. So I encourage you to stay here until your timer goes off, or even if you feel like you'd like to stay a little longer, that's fine. Try to keep the mind clear and focus on the breath and really relaxing, using the exhale to let your body melt into the floor. Hopefully you're feeling a little bit of relief, or you will soon, getting all of our inner prana, our inner heat working to get those fires of our belly going and moving, so that we will have a tool to help combat some of the constipation and digestive problems that happen during pregnancy. They're just a natural part of life. Enjoy your meditation. Until next week, yogis. Namaste.